Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be breaking down the stock market. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of long term and short term setups like this one that I took just recently, you can see on January 13th, and this thing was up $10 per share. And this is just one of my trade that I'm actually sharing with you guys right here. If you want to do this full time and you want to make money, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into the market. All right, so welcome back once again, guys. And Monday market will be closed for Martin Luther King Day, and then market will resume on Tuesday morning. So it's a shortened week. Next week, 4 days of trading, which a lot of you guys will be bored because no trading on Monday. ADP on Tuesday, employment. Then we have pending home sales on Wednesday. We got GDP, initial jobless claims, core PC, bunch of data coming out on Thursday. And top of that, Friday, we have Michigan consumer sentiment, which is going to move the market. Now, fear and greed index, you can see we're definitely not on greed. I would say this market is actually on extreme greed, but here you can see market is really greedy. Nobody wants to sell anything. Nobody wants to take profit. It's at 62 on greed right now. You can see a bunch of other news. Trump trying to get Greenland. That's not nothing new. He's obsessed with Greenland. He wants that. And then we got Iran. He's backing off from attacking Iran. And a bunch of bad news. We got that probe into Jerome Powell, Fed chair. Market shrugged it off. We went down 1%, immediately came back up. As a matter of fact, gap up and go next morning. But we had OPEX today, and what market did, I mean, you can see Broadcom, AMU. This thing was just insane today. We played AMU puts from the top early morning, and these were zero DTs. Lots of plays we had today, and not even one loser. So, which was fantastic going into 3 day weekend. We can enjoy nicely that weekend because you don't want to take a loss into Friday's session, and then you're thinking about that loss all over the weekend, guys. Trust me, we've been there so many times, right? So, AMU was another trade. We took SNDK. Some of the other trades, SMH was another one that we took, and these were zero DTs. All of them got paid over 100%. So, you know, I, I'm always looking forward to meeting real traders, serious people. So if you're one of those guys out there that are actually serious, definitely head over to Patreon. Check out that link down in the description. Now, what market did today, you can see 11 sectors. Real estate led the way. That's because mortgage rates coming down. Energy, industrials, financial technology. Look at here, week to date, energy led the way. Consumer defensive, real estate, industrial saw a risk off move that we saw this week. Also, stock market, what we did today? Well, you can see advancing 40%, declining about 56%, Dow flat, Nasdaq flat, S&P flat, Russell making a brand new all-time high, but then going flat for the day. You can see it actually sold off for making a brand new all-time high. And now I think we need to do a deep dive in on S&P 500. So let's talk about it. All right, so on SPY ETF, you can see it's pretty flat for the day, and the range again 690 to 695, and that's how it's been trading for past 1 week. You can see we came slightly lower down to 685. That's another big support. We went right back up inside that 690 range. Yesterday was up back over 695, came back in again, gave back all the gains. So a lot of chop and things are just not pushing higher. Now, a couple things I want to mention, guys, that people that are looking for 700, we might not even see that. And there is a reason. You can see the Bollinger Band on top was actually going up, and you can see now it's actually moving down. So, what is coming next? Well, we have to wait and see. But when you look at all the data and you look at all the bad news, all the bad stuff happening around the economy, around the world, what do you think? Do you think we're in a really good place right now to be hitting all-time highs? I don't think so. And especially when market at all-time highs, is it actually a good time to go long or even participate in that rally? I don't think so. You don't want to short it, that's totally fine. But watch out for the next opportunity. You don't want to get a big bag right here for more upside. You think that it's going to go up even more, and just because you missed out here, maybe here, now you want to go right in here, and then the next thing you know, market is right about here, right? You don't want that. So what is next, and what's going to happen next week come Tuesday? Well, one thing I want to say here on S&P, that if this thing actually gets over that 695, we stay over that range, we could see more upside. You can see we did close below the 5-day today, which is at 692.64. So that's going to be a resistance to watch Tuesday morning. And then 695, over that we could see SPY going up and maybe making a brand new all-time high. You can see that was actually on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, that was on Monday. We made actually a brand new all-time high, and since then it just faded all the way down to 685. So $10 move this week, back and forth, and then we pretty much closed right in the middle. So going into next week, to the downside, you need to watch this 690. If that gives up, there will be support at 688 because of this white line 20-day moving average on your screen. This is on daily time frame, and then 685.88. Underneath that, you're gonna see 680 or even lower. To the upside, like I said, there will be resistance at 692.64 come Tuesday morning, over that 695, and then we could see a retest of all-time highs again, 696, and maybe going up to that 700 level if things can actually break to the upside come next week. On IWM, it's absolutely flat on the day. Now, a couple things I want to mention right here on IWM, and it seems like a lot of people are just getting overly bullish on IWM. Things are getting pretty frothy and overbought. RSI on daily, I think it's at 74. And right now, you can see yesterday we went up, made a brand new all-time high, and we got rejection at 267. Today we went up 267.21, slightly higher, brand new all-time high, you can see. And then what happened? We backed off. So I think if this thing can actually stay under 267 and breaks below this low from today, this is from today, 264.8, we could see a flush. This was the previous candle on the 30-minute. We could see a flush down to this gap 263.46 come next week. And then maybe even a retest of 262.91, that previous all-time high right about here, to even flat 262 and then 258. Now today's candle, the weekly candle definitely looks bullish. You can see a nice green candle, but look at this right here also. You can see this blue line, that 5 SMA on this weekly. It's actually trading at 255 and some change. So if you look at my screen, you can see we actually left the 5-day moving average and then went higher. And then what happened? We came back in. What is happening right now? We are pretty much disconnected, about 10, 12, $13 away from 5 SMA on this weekly time frame, right? So if things are going to pull back, we should see at least 255 in near short term to the downside, and that would be still bullish as long as the support holds. Now, when you flip back to the daily, you can see we got a doji today. We found buyers at the bottom. We also found sellers at the top at 267. We have a gap from yesterday, 263.46. So watch out. If this thing breaks below this low, 264.8, we could see the gap fill here at 263.46. And underneath that, we could see more downside, like I was giving you guys on the 30-minute time frame, that 262 to 260 and then even 258, which is going to be a key support zone if we come back here to that previous all-time high on IWM. Now if this thing breaks over 267, we could see a push, and this Bollinger Band has to expand, and that push could be 270. That is the next stop as of right now. On Dow, it's also down today 0.18%. But if you look at my screen, pretty flat. We almost made an all-time high again today, 496, only few pennies away from all-time high. This is the all-time high, 496.34, you can see. And we just backed off from there. And now it's sitting at 493. So going into Tuesday's session, we could see this gap getting filled at 491.94, and that should act as a support. But if it doesn't, then it's going to come down to 489.66. We do have support right here at 488, and then this gap comes into play at 484. If things are actually going to push higher, we take out 496, then we could see flat 500 here on Dow. Now we do have a bearish divergence that is playing out, and so far we have not made a brand new all-time high here on Nasdaq. So if you look at triple Q, you can see yesterday and day before it was down here, and even this was Tuesday. We went higher, we gave back. So when you look at Nasdaq and S&P, S&P pressing higher, still sitting near all-time highs. But look at Nasdaq, it's far, far off. Almost like what? $20 off from all-time highs. It's not making all-time highs, even though SMH is, going and making all-time highs. So there is something wrong, guys. There is something wrong, and people will say, "Oh, you're just a bear and all that." It's not about being a bear or being a bull. I play both sides, but you have to realize that Nasdaq, this is the king, and it's not actually leading the charge. Who's leading? Well, we got small caps, we got S&P, and the big dogs are just dying. And who are those big dogs? Well, the biggest names on earth. You got Microsoft going down to a monthly support. We got Apple giving back a lot of the gains from all-time highs. As a matter of fact, not even bouncing at all. We got names like CRM going down. Lots of names are going down. Big names, Meta, not going up. A lot of people were talking about filling that gap from last earnings. We got another earnings coming up on Meta, and we're just pulling back really hard. AMD recently went up, but it was actually going down too. Lots of other names are going down, and these are big names. And you see S&P going and making brand new all-time highs. Now, S&P definitely a broader market. It has a lot of things in it. It can go up, but you always want to see Nasdaq leading, and it's not the case. And that's why you saw that on that sector rotation that it was a risk-off move. They were not buying technology. It was not actually one of the top sector. They were buying real estate and stuff, right? So that is the concern that Nasdaq still not able to make all-time highs, where you're seeing Dow going and making new all-time highs, and IWM is like the next SLB or silver is making brand new all-time highs pretty much every day. Then you got S&P making all-time highs, even RSP making all-time highs, but not here. But when you look at the market, this is the big picture. This is where all the big dogs are sitting, and a lot of things are not lining up. Nvidia not making all-time highs. Yes, Nvidia from recent lows, it actually came back up, but is it actually making brand new all-time highs? No, it's not. Who's making all-time highs? Some junk stocks like EMU. You got SNDK. That's another scam. $25 stock going up to $400+. We got names like these going and making all-time highs. You don't have Broadcom making all-time highs. Yes, it was slightly up today. So that is the concern for the market and the news, the things that you're seeing out there. Something is broken somewhere. Something is happening. Why Fed injecting all that money into the banking system and all that? What's the stress? What is the problem? Like, if I don't, if I have fever and I'm taking medicine, obviously, I have fever, that's why I'm taking medicine, right? Or any kind of sickness. What kind of sickness we have where we have to inject money? Ask it. Ask yourself, do some research. What is going on? Why do we have to inject all that money into the system? What is the reason? Did something break? We don't know. Why Nasdaq not making all-time highs? And now I don't think there is a chance of making all-time highs also, because you can see the Bollinger Band on top. Well, it's coming down. something big is about to happen in next, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks. Something big will happen, whether we get, I'm not saying it's going to be a big doomsday a crash happening very soon, but I think we can get some sort of a pullback. That could be, 10, 15%. Maybe worst case scenario, we get 20% like we did back in April last year. So, a lot of bearish divergence, a lot of things are overbought, a lot of things are just, it just up so much that it can give back some of those gains, and even S&P can give back some of the gains over last few days and making new all-time highs. So something is definitely not right, not happening, you know where you would see positive reaction on Nasdaq, where this thing would go up and make all-time highs. Now, yes, lots of big earnings are coming up, and that could change a lot of things. It can push Nasdaq up, or possibly can drag it down. So that's coming, within this month, end of this month to next month. Amazon, you got Google, you got Meta earnings and Apple earnings coming up. Bunch of earnings coming up, guys. So that is going to move the market. So what is next here on Nasdaq far as going into next week? Well, I would say you see these highs right here about 629. Only if that breaks, look for upside, maybe into that 636, 637. If that does not break, you can see today what happened. We closed just over the 20-day, 620.58. That gives up the next support, 617, 613, and we could be going down even lower, down to like lower band, which is at 611 and then 606. To the upside, if we can get over the 5-day moving average, 623, we could see a push back up to 629. And once we get over that, which I don't think that's going to be the case come Tuesday morning, then we can talk about more upside, not right now. On VIX is actually slightly up on the day. So VIX was actually dropping even yesterday and even today. And look at what VIX is doing, guys. It actually came back up and closed near 16 bucks. So is there something that market not telling us where this thing is still alive and just holding on? Does that mean we could see VIX going back up to 18? We saw that earlier last week and then backed off. So if this thing can actually get over to 16, we could see push towards that $18 level, and maybe over that we could see a massive breakout. Definitely, if this thing pushes back, key support to watch that $15 zone right here. So watch out for that on VIX. And here's another one, the dollar index. Now, I did show you guys this before, that monthly support zone here where we held, we came down, and now you can see, a little bit of move to the upside. It was down here at 96. We made a decent enough move on dollar, but so far, what is S&P doing? It's not really pulling back. We're just consolidating. So dollar is definitely on the rise. You can see from these lows, we found a bottom, and just this thing is just pushing higher. So what is the next stop? If this thing wants to, go up even more, we could be coming into this area around 100.4, and that is the next stop. If this thing, again, next week pushing even higher. But you can see, I mean, it's a really nice move to the upside from these lows, and now if this thing continues, it can definitely move up even more. There will be supported around 99.26, so watch out for that. Come Tuesday morning. So before we wrap up this video, I want to talk about silver a little bit here, and you can see we might be putting in a top this week. You can see this candle; it's got a massive wick on top, and we closed pretty much near the lows of the week. Now, yesterday and today we had a gap down on silver, and you can see $80 support so far. It's doing a great job holding up, and then 78.49 is another level to watch. But if you look at my screen, Monday we had a massive gap up and go. And then in top of that, guys, 2 days later, we had another gap up and go all the way up to almost 85. And then what happened? This thing crashed all the way down to where? So that is a pretty big move to the downside. But considering how much this thing went up, this is nothing. So people that are actually still trying to buy this dip, only thing I will say here on silver, that be careful. If this thing comes back, I think there will be a day very soon where silver is going to give back 15, 20% in just a matter of day. And there's going to be a news, a headline saying that the worst down day on gold and silver, that is coming for sure. Now, if you look at my screen, that 80 gives up. I think it will come down to that 72.9 to close this gap from last Monday. And that's where it's going. Otherwise, if this thing actually takes out this high, which is going to be around 85, then look for new all-time highs, maybe going into the like 90s. At that point, I mean, look at this monthly chart right here. You think anybody who's actually trading for a long time would buy this here now? I mean, that is just insane, guys. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated next week, Tuesday night.